Back Cover, the podcast that explores the classic soul music of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'm Karen Williams. Join me and my co-host Steve Williams, and no, we're not related, as we flip over the album covers and share stories of the movers and shakers that created, wrote, and produced those classic soul sounds. We'll educate and entertain you, all while keeping the music alive. Welcome to episode number 3. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of different people. Bobby Womack, the Dells, Stax Records. So just stay tuned. You'll learn a lot and have a lot of fun too. I listened to Bobby Womack this weekend on YouTube.
Did you?
Yeah, just to listen to some of his stuff.
And?
Because I love Bobby Womack. Because, we were talking about Billboard, and we were saying, like Mr. Bedford was saying, people like Bobby Womack didn't chart on Billboard because, he was more of an urban.
But he did chart on Billboard, but he didn't. I'll tell you how he charted.
How did he chart?
As a songwriter.
Oh, well, yeah, but not as a vocalist.
Right.
That's what I meant.
Right. He had, when he did chart on Billboard, it was under the R&B
right
genre.
Right.
He
didn't chart across.
He never crossed
over.
Right. He had some crossover material.
What was some of his crossover material?
It was under the Valentinos, and then it became a Rolling Stone
Oh, yeah,
song.
that's right. You said that.
Uh-huh.
Right.
It's All Over Now would be the song.
Okay.
It crossed over in the States, and it crossed over in
England.
the
UK.
overseas, yeah.
Or maybe Europe, totally. Yeah.
It made the Rolling Stones a household name.
Mm-hmm. And him a very rich man.
Very.
Yes. But anyway, I was listening to some of his music over the weekend.
Bobby's hell of a poet, man.
Yes. Very good. If people don't, I guess people who like classic soul know Bobby Womack.
Some
but they may know a little bit.
They know him more as a solo artist than they do as a writer, arranger, a group member.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
he's written many great hits, but they were sang or performed by like, for instance, one of my favorite ballads by Bobby was first written on Wilson Pickett. It's called I'm in Love. And if you hear Wilson Pickett sing the song, if you can hear Bobby
in the background.
No.
Oh, you can hear his flavor.
Like yesterday, when I played that Aretha Franklin.
Yes.
You said that's got to be a Luther song.
Oh yeah, the one that she did. What song was it? Not Jump to It. Yeah, Jump to It. Jump, jump, jump to it.
Uh-huh.
And I've heard that song 1,000 times.
But
yesterday, for some reason, I was listening to it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like Luther Vandross to me. And then looked at the style, and then I looked it up, and he was the co-writer. And then when I listened to it even more, he was singing in the background.
It was himself and I believe Nat Turner.
Yeah, that wrote it.
Yeah.
But
Nat Adderley.
And no, it wasn't Nat Adderley.
It wasn't?
No, it was someone else.
Okay.
But it was him singing in the background too. So the next time you hear Jump to It, listen real
I'll tell you another place where you can hear him.
In the Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial. No,
well, not only that. Shame on you. If you heard some of Roberta Flack's pieces.
Yes, because
he sang background for her.
Right.
Then she fired him.
She was crazy.
No. He probably wouldn't have never left for a while.
But she thought he should leave.
She said, you sound too good to be a background singer, so I'm going to let you go. And usually what happens, you have people in the background, like you wouldn't have known about Melissa Morgan had it not been for Luther. Right.
And then she made that song.
Right. But since he's been gone, you haven't heard anything from her, have you?
Right. But, she made the comment 20 Feet, you know, the documentary 20 Feet from Stardom. Did you see that one?
I did not heard about it.
You should really look at that one.
Okay.
But Love, Darlene Love, you know, that whole story. Yeah.
Background singer.
Background singers. For years. And the people who sing in the background for all of these really super artists. And that's how I found out that Darlene Love sang on the back of Leonard Skinner's Sweet Home Alabama.
She sang with Elvis on his tours. She was a part, I think, of the Sweet Inspirations.
I think so, yes.
Her and Cissy Houston.
And, in fact, she said that, what was the group you mentioned? Marvelettes?
The Marvelettes.
How many were in the Marvelettes?
It was actually 5 of them when they started.
Who's the group that were 3 back in the day? Not the Supremes.
That would be Martha and the Vandellas.
Name another one.
Give me a song.
I don't know the song. Anyway, she said that when they were in the recording, when they were touring, they would record as them.
Yeah, Levert used to do that. Well, the OJs used to do that. No one knew about the OJs for a while on the West Coast. So they were called for different groups. If the group couldn't go, they would go out there under that name
and pretend to be
them. Get paid. You know, all us looking like.
Yeah, that's true. That's
the thought. Yeah, Bobby, and then Sam Cooke. Bobby was his guitarist.
Right.
Along with King
people
Curtis.
don't know that, you know, Bobby Womack is a
left-handed guitarist.
Right.
And where did you find that out?
Well, I found out he was a left-handed guitarist from you.
Thank you.
But I knew he was a guitarist.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He was Sam Cooke's guitarist on the road.
And took his wife.
Well, he was already gone. So there wasn't nothing to take.
Later.
Hey, don't take long.
I'm like 3 months.
He gone. Who you gonna blame?
Some looking before he left.
Well, he was a grown man, young man.
Talk about it.
And she was lonely.
3 months?
Hey.
Come on now.
Hello.
Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
No, I was just explaining to Karen, the vows actually say till death do we part. Right?
That's what they actually say. But how many people live there unless somebody take them out?
Well, if it hadn't been Bobby, it's going to be somebody. Somebody.
Hey, my question today is, Martha Reed's a secretary at Motown, and they needed an extra singer for a song, and they got her to sing.
That is true. She would go in the background. She would go in the snake pit. Her along with the Adantes. They used everybody, man. There's a song that Marvin Gaye recorded called "Nobody But Me," and the Temptations did the background for it, and it was a smash, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they used each other. They got paid for it, so you know. It's a known fact that if you listen to all of Sam's duets, most of Sam's duets, I would say, Lou Rawls was the guy that he sang duet with. Bring It On Home to Me, Soothe Me Baby, a whole bunch of other things. But now this is a trick that people didn't know. All those songs you heard Mary Wells on, guess who was harmonizing with her? And it wasn't another woman.
Okay, one of the Temptations, was it?
Eddie Kendricks.
It was too early before Temptations.
Two lovers, I ain't ashamed. Eddie was up there, man.
Okay.
Yeah, background singers, and I found this out from my coworker over here. I knew and met Vesta Williams back in the day, back in the 80s. Beautiful, voluptuous woman. I mean, just gorgeous. I had no idea she was singing background. And sometimes when you thought Chaka was singing on stage, it was Vesta backstage. know where I got some of my education too, on radio and other things, by listening to WVON at night.
Okay, yeah.
Under my pillow. And speaking of radio, one of the most exciting entertainers / radio personalities to come out of Memphis. His birthday was today. It's a heavenly birthday for Mr. Rufus Thomas. He only had one daughter.
Okay.
And her name is Carla. Otis and Carla were like the Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell of Stax. You follow me? They toured a lot together.
Okay.
The Stax show was the Stax show was the Marquis opened the show. After the Marquis came, do you like sweet music? Yeah. Was Arthur, I forget his last name. Anyway, he was the guy that came on after the Marquis. Then after him was Eddie Floyd, Knock on Wood. After him was, and this is what Otis didn't like. After him was Sam and Dave. Then the show was literally over. Because by the time you got through mopping up from Sam and Dave and all the women falling all out and everything, the show was over. After Sam and Dave got through tearing up the place, Otis came out. People were tired then. So Otis didn't like Sam and Dave. Personally, he liked them, but professionally, Otis did not like Sam and Dave.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Rufus Thomas, he was a DJ on
DIA
in Memphis, DIA.
Yeah.
And we met him up in Detroit at downtown at the 20 Grand there. And Span tried to book him in Chicago at the Burning Spear, but he didn't sell enough tickets, and he had to cancel the show.
No, that ain't what happened.
What happened?
Span didn't want to pay the man.
You right about that.
That ain't what happened.
I know, but I didn't want to say that about my ex-boss, man.
Well,
I love the Dells.
I do too. I love.
They could sing.
Oh.
And you know why he held that note? You know how he holds that really long note?
Yeah.
No, please tell me.
He held it because he said they didn't know how. They had like 5 or 6 seconds left.
Right.
To end the record.
Right.
And they didn't know what else to do. So then he just said, I'm just going to hold the note. And he held that note.
23 seconds.
And then they ended the record.
Wow.
And you know what? She's finally right.
What do you mean I'm finally
She's right. I was waiting to hear what you had to say.
No, I know that.
Yeah, he did. Because on the original Stay in My Corner, it's not like that.
No.
It's very short.
Right.
It's very short. But Marvin said, hey, well, how much time we need?
Right. He just held
He just held the note.
He just took a breath and held that note.
Because he warmed up the first one.
Right.
Baby. Ooh. Then all of a sudden, he took a deep breath.
And there we went.
And
you know what? Every time you saw him, that note was held longer and longer and longer. People were like, damn, can you breathe?
Yeah.
Really, that man had some pipes.
He did.
He knew, he learned how to do that singing with Dinah Washington. You know, for 3 years.
Oh, my girl.
For 3 years, they did background for Dinah while she would fire him. Then they'd hire him again the next morning, fire him again last night. You know.
Back and forth.
Yeah, she was known as kind of bipolar, but, you know, they didn't have a diagnosis for it then.
Right.
And Ray Charles actually fired him.
Uh-oh.
Because he was performing, here we go, he was performing in Carnegie Hall.
Okay.
Carnegie Hall, let me get it right.
Carnegie Hall, okay.
Yeah. And the Dells opened up, and they were doing just jazz. They could sing jazz, man.
Wow.
They could sing jazz. And the Four Horsemen were like, hey, guys, we studied at this school, and they were like, well, we studied on 147 in Roby. and there's an ice cream shop there. That's where they studied at. In other words, they stood outside just sang.
They sang doo-wop.
Doo-wop, yeah.
For real?
Yeah, they were
one of these days, I'm going to bring some Dells jazz. They were blowing.
Hear that.
You thought they were like the Mills Brothers.
I love jazz.
And the Temps did a version of a song called Nobody But My Baby. You think they the Mills Brothers as well. And, I mean, the voices are just pristine. Oh, man.
Oh. I called to ask Mr. Encyclopedia Music Man.
Oh, boy. What here?
Okay, we're going to play Musical Jeopardy.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to give you the answer.
For how much?
I got 2 pennies I'm looking at.
Oh.
Okay, you ready?
Okay, try me.
Clarence Carter.
Clarence Carter. Ooh. Okay, what about him?
What do you know about him?
Clarence Carter was actually born blind, but he picked up the piano and he moved to Oregon. He was married once upon a time to Candy Staten, and the song, his signature song, Patches, was not written by him. It was actually written by the guy that owns Fame Studio in Muscle Shoals.
Let me stop you. That's not the Clarence Carter I'm talking about.
Okay.
There's another Clarence Carter?
Oh, you talking about saxophone Clarence Carter that played with Bruce Springsteen
and the
E Street Band?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many hats did that man wear at one time?
How many?
On his head?
On his head?
Well, I'm talking about, how one person does one thing, and then they turn around and do something else at the same time.
I haven't followed him that much, but as far as I knew, he was Bruce Springsteen's musical conductor. He not only played saxophone, he played all of the saxes as well as oboe. And that's about as far as I got with him.
In my opinion, that man was the greatest alto saxophone player that ever lived.
Really?
Absolutely.
In your opinion,
Does he have an album out? Does he have any?
I don't think he ever did a solo album. But he was always Bruce. Brought him.
Bruce thought he was great.
Bruce brought him to the forefront.
What did he did? Do you know if he did any albums as saxophone?
Not that I know of, but I do know.
Well, he did some sessions with other artists.
That's what I mean. Who did he play?
I can't call the names right now, but he did. Oh Lord, we having a heat wave over here with callers. Y'all hold on, we coming.
He just had a show called
his name is Clarence Clemens.
Springsteen on Broadway.
That's his name, Clarence Clemens.
It's Clarence Clemens.
Not Clarence.
Clemens, right? Clemens.
Okay.
My bad. I'm sorry, y'all.
So you lost.
Yeah.
Bye.
I got to give you my pennies.
Yeah, you do.
Bring me my money.
I'll do it.
Bye.
Bye.
1370. Hello.
Hello, 2 to 5 team.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, I hate to be Mr. Correcting everybody, but that last lady you were talking to, you were right about Clarence Carter. He was blow-fied. The guy she's thinking of is Clarence Clemens.
Right, we just told her.
Yeah, we just told her that. Right.
Darn it, I didn't hear it because I was on hold.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, we told her. It's Clarence
I stand
Clemens.
corrected then.
No problem.
No problem, brother.
Later.
All right.
Bye.
All right. When I was working at 1370, not that one. 1390 in Chicago. It was Dusty Radio. I had both of them on the phone.
Who?
Little Milton and Marvin Jr. Marvin held that note for 23 seconds. Give or take a few more seconds.
Okay.
On Stay in My Corner. On Hello Sundown, Little Milton held the note for 26 seconds. I'm telling you. These guys used to go at it, man. It was just wonderful to talk to them, man. It was
wonderful.
It was just wonderful. And I had them both. They both had scrappy voices. So Marvin, how long can he don't know what I'm talking about. And they were label mates before. They were both on chess.
Okay.
Yeah. Here we go. And Johnny and Little Milton used to go at it when they were both on Stax. If Johnny recorded a song, and Milton would cover it. I'll give you an example. Johnny had a version of Hello Sundown. Mm-hmm. Milton re-recorded it. They were on the same label.
Why would
Stax.
they do that? Well,
just competition, and it would see who would sell.
Yeah, Motown did that too. Gladys Knight, Marvin Gaye.
See which one would sell the most.
Right.
And at one time, people don't believe it, but they saw Isaac Hayes as the star of Stax, but the real star that kept Stax floating after Otis Reddy died
was Johnny Taylor. Yes.
I know, I told you.
Yes, you told me.
No. Last night I was on Netflix, and I found this documentary on Quincy Jones.
You finally saw it?
Yeah, it was.
It was wonderful.
It was, man. It was heart-wrenching.
Yes.
It was wonderful, and the building where he grew up at on the South Side was still there.
And
he went there, and it's amazing. He's got 7 daughters and 1 son. Mm-hmm. 1. But that's still cool. But what really got me was I didn't realize how sentimental he really is.
Well, he's an artist.
Yeah.
You have to remember that people who are artists are very sensitive.
I know.
Oh, please.
Yes. This is an art. People come in here and look at this thing, and they get just frightened like it's got teeth.
Okay. But anyway, going back to Quincy Jones. And what was so great about that documentary is his daughter produced it. His daughter produced that.
Which one?
The one that was on Parks and Rec, Rashida. Yeah. Now, I got a chance to see the African American Institute. What is it called? The one in D.C.?
Smithsonian, African American Smithsonian.
No.
That's not it.
African American Museum of History. In D.C. You got a chance to see it. Where?
Because they shot some segments in it.
Oh, you didn't really see it. You just saw pieces of it.
That's what I'm telling you. It was enough for me to want to go.
Oh yeah, I told you. Well, have you not been listening to me?
No.
I've mentioned this 1,000 times. While we've been on the air doing this show, that you should go.
We're going to do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame first, because it's drivable.
Right, we're going to do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame first. Mm-hmm. And then
we're going to do DC.